Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of YourViews Podcast. I'm Dems.
That's here.
Thank you guys so much for coming back to another episode, episode 7. If you guys are new here, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. It's almost the middle of the month,
It's almost.
and it's the second month of the year. How has your year been going so far?
It's been slow.
Been slow?
It's been slow.
All 8
Even
weeks
though-
of January?
Yes, it's been slow. I expect things to be going a little faster for me, but it's been slow.
I think it's been going pretty steady. I think January wasn't as long as we thought it would have been. I know January is usually the 8th month, in terms that there are usually 8 months in 1 month, but it went by pretty quickly for me. So no complaints on my end. Anyways, guys, that's enough chit chat. We are joined today by Miss Christina Lawrence, sorry, let's get that right, who is the owner of a very intriguing business. It's called The Buyer Writer. And just to give you guys a quick synopsis of who Christina is, she's another unicorn, which means that she is originally from Grande Prairie. I know they are rare. Christina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to both of you for having me on the show. I really appreciate the opportunity. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in Sexsmith, Alberta, which is about 25 minutes north of Grande Prairie, just for reference. But most people just refer to it as Grande Prairie born and raised because, you know, it's the same.
Well, if you say
geographical-
Sexsmith, no one is more likely not going to know where you're talking about. So you say Grande
Grande
Prairie,
That's right.
which is technically still Grande Prairie, so
That's
you're right.
Yeah. So I grew up in Sexsmith, and I have a radio background. So I used to be a reporter for a local radio station here in town. It used to be Big Country, and now it's called Everything GP.
Oh,
Yeah, we know
That's
that
right.
one.
big up on yourself. Everything GP, I think we've heard of it before, but I don't think we've ever really listened to it.
No.
So what was growing up like for Christina in northwestern Alberta?
In northwestern Alberta, well, I'm gonna reference something that you guys said on a previous podcast episode. It was cold. It was cold. No, it was good growing up in northwestern Alberta. There's lots of opportunity here. There's lots of opportunity to meet people and grow and just build businesses and connect with other business owners. It's a pretty tight-knit community here, but when you're involved in the community, that's when opportunities start to really open up for you. And from my experience, it was very friendly. It was a friendly experience. It was just a great place to grow up.
It's so interesting that you started by referencing the word opportunities. So by the way, this podcast is being filmed at M3M Studios, located here in Grande Prairie, Alberta. Big up yourself, Mariah. Honorable shout out to Joan as well. Joan, another unicorn. You shout out to you guys. You mentioned opportunity. And that's a word that keeps coming up in most of our episodes of what Grande Prairie, Sexsmith, Beaver Lodge, what it represents. But if you had a choice, Christina, would you live anywhere else in the world other than where you were born?
You know, this is an interesting question because if you would have asked me this last year,
Yeah.
I would have said yes. And I would have said probably a major city like Edmonton, Vancouver, a major center. However, I had a bit of a change of heart in December. I realized there is a lot for me here. There's a lot of connections for me here. And I have a great social support network here, which I'm very grateful for. And that's something I just don't necessarily have in the major centers. So would I live somewhere else if I knew that I would have the opportunity to create a rich social network?
Yeah.
Then yes, I would. But
You have never left Grande Prairie
I did leave when I was about 19.
and you returned.
That was what, last year?
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh man. No, I lived in Vancouver for about I want to say a couple months, but it just wasn't quite the right feel for me. It was quite big.
Yeah.
And I'm used to being able to go somewhere within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the advantage, right? That's the advantage with Grande Prairie.
Absolutely agree.
If you want to go somewhere, you can hop in your car and drive for 15 minutes and you're there.
Yeah.
And the cost of living is significantly lower here than in major centers as well. So that's a big draw for me as well.
And the grass is not always greener on the other side either. Because sometimes we look on and we think that there is more opportunities, more potential in a bigger city. But the grass is, and not to always say this, but the grass is always greener where you water it. So wherever you plant your grass and water it, that's where it's the greenest, right? So a lot of persons move to the bigger cities and they think that there's more for them. But in truth and in fact, it could be better, but it also could be worse. Right? Nats, have you thought of living anywhere else?
Yes, I thought about living in Edmonton or even Calgary.
What?
There have been conversations with us saying, okay,
I can't recall.
well, all right.
I'm never leaving Grande Prairie.
You have selective memory
We have
then.
the conversation of like, is there something better out there? And then we sit back and look at it and see that, as we said before, opportunities here.
Yeah.
So, and the grass is greener where you water it. So we decided to start water our grass here.
Yeah, little bits here and there.
Yes.
So, Christina, you are the buyer writer. What does that mean? What do you do?
So that means I help people celebrate and showcase who they are, what they do, and why it matters with the world, whether that's online, whether that's in print. Writing about yourself is not an easy thing to do, is it?
No, it's
No,
not.
Right?
no, it's not.
And oftentimes it takes an outside perspective to come in and to really ask the right questions, actively listen to you, and most importantly, understand who you are as a human and how your experiences have come together to shape who you are as a human. So
Yeah.
with my writing and interviewing experience as a former reporter, I have about 16 years of writing and editing experience under my belt. And I'm able to ask people thoughtful questions about who they are and help them better understand themselves
Okay.
through my work.
Why did you decide to do this aspect, this bio writing? Why did you decide to do it?
Simply because I have always been a lover of story. Every person has a story,
That's true.
right? You have a story, you have a story.
Absolutely.
I have a story. And bringing that story to life in a way that you can connect with other people, whether you're building a business, whether you're, building your following as podcast hosts. Your story is something that only you have, and it's something that no one can take away from you.
Yeah.
And sometimes the pieces of your story aren't always rosy, so to speak.
That's true.
Yeah.
But there's ways to share those aspects of your story in a way that you're more relatable to other people.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you're watching this episode and you haven't subscribed already, please take a second, subscribe, smash a like, and drop a comment. But most importantly, guys, I want you guys to check out the bio writer. She has a YouTube channel as well. And she's on social media, so check her out on Facebook as well. And do you do services for persons who are only local, or can persons contact you online as well?
Oh, of course. Yes, I have clients I've helped clients from across North America. So it's not limited to Grande Prairie, although I really do enjoy the local stories of the local people. That's really where I'm focusing my efforts at this time.
So, how would you start a biography of me?
We'll have to sit and talk
Let
to her.
me, yeah. let me
not
adjust
looking at you.
my posture.
It's not looking at you and decide to write. I think she has to have a conversation, ask a question.
No, but she can start by, he's very handsome.
Oh
he's
my
very
God.
he's,
Modest,
he's
too.
very modest.
Yeah.
He's so introverted.
Oh, no. That part, no. I don't think so.
No.
Right to that part.
We don't believe you.
Ah.
We don't believe
Oh
you.
man, I tried.
You did try.
So it's really just telling your story and sharing it in a way that persons can know who you are. Is it like is it individual based or is it business?
I can do both. And I've done both, actually. If your business has a story that needs to be brought to life, that's something I can certainly do. And of course, every person on this planet has a story
That's right.
that deserves to be
Do
brought
you
to
write books?
No, I've started a few, but I haven't finished. But maybe that'll be in my future plans, is to write a book about maybe the importance of story and
Yeah.
highlight some of my own experiences.
Absolutely. And as a community, Grand Prairie, you mentioned that there's a lot of support that you have created a niche here. Pretty much is what I'm getting. Um, in terms of networking and your business support and all of that, would you say your type of business is something that is embracive here? Does persons generally come to you to write their biography? Or is it more of a North American thing that persons from outside of Grand Prairie reach out? Do you think there's an acceptance of your type of business here?
Yes, I would say so, because there's a lot of people who are trying to grow their businesses, and they're starting to recognize that they need to show who they are.
Human side of
The
them.
human side, exactly. Because a computer, I'm going to talk a little bit about AI.
Go for it.
You
Go
can
for it.
type in prompts to AI. However, AI is not going to ask you the questions that need to be asked. And AI tends to be quite repetitive. It'll say the same thing. So you need to really know what you're asking of AI if you're going to go that route. But in my opinion, nothing will ever replace the human touch when it comes to your story.
That's true.
And to answer your question, Damar, yes, it's been well received locally. Businesses are wondering, how can I stand out?
Yeah.
Your story is how you can stand out.
That's true.
And across North America, I've helped. Well, I'm helping a couple clients out of Edmonton now. So, it's growing through social media presence and consistency too, which I know you want to talk about later.
Yeah,
in
we're
this
gonna
episode.
we're gonna definitely talk about that, and that leads perfectly into my next question actually, which is for your business, the buyer rider. Now, how important of a role does social media play in your business?
I would say it plays a very important role in my business, simply because it's my way of connecting with people
Yeah.
and letting them know that a service like me exists. I get a lot from people, oh, that's so cool that you write bios. I had no idea that somebody could do that for me. I had no idea there was somebody out there who could do this service for me. So
Yeah.
it's my job to let people know that I'm out there, show them what I can do, and promote that business
And
as well.
like, where can people find you?
The best places to find me are Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn particularly. But Facebook, I do have a page that I post on fairly regularly. And of course, I have my YouTube channel, which
No
is
TikTok?
no TikTok.
Okay.
It's the YouTube channel is very small, but I'm starting to grow it a little bit. And
Yeah.
thank you for following, by the way.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, social media for us is the best way to promote yourself, promote your business, and to create a presence. We noticed at Grand Prairie when we just came here, we realized that most persons are a little bit conservative in their approach, and we spoke to Mariah about this as well in terms of she does a marketing business. Is it that persons here are more traditionally based in terms of their just like website,
Billboard.
billboard radio? You are on the radio, or is it that they are now going on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube? Uh, Based on persons who you know in the business space, do you say this is something that they're embracing as well?
I would say some are, not all. Like you said, some people are quite conservative. And I think people have a limited idea of what social media can look like, what a good social media presence can look like. It's not necessarily all about self-promotion. Yes, self-promotion is a part of it.
Yeah,
However, and we talked about this earlier, getting out in the community and sharing where you are and what you're
Yeah.
doing, even though it's not necessarily
About you. Yeah.
letting
That's
people
true.
right, letting people know that you care about
Yeah.
certain causes, like for instance Black History Month, right?
yes,
That's not a post I shared a post about Black History Month and
I liked it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
I did see that. Thank you. But that's not about me, and that's not my experience.
Exactly.
However, I want people to know that that's something that is important to me and that I care about. And that's also showing a piece of your personality.
100%. And if you guys are watching this podcast and you're in Grande Prairie and you have a business and you don't know where to start social media journey, of course, Maria does that as a professional service. But you can also contact us as well. We will be happy to chat with you guys. DiAndersons is who we are.
What? Shirts?
We specifically wear our shirts so we were able to put that line in.
I like it. Right? I like it. Shameless plug.
Oh,
Yes.
100%. So yeah, definitely social media it is now. It was the future back then, but the future is now.
Yep.
The future is
And I
now.
think businesses that's not readily accepting that the change is social media
Yeah.
is kind of behind. They need to
Yeah.
step forward.
Christina, I told you this already the first time I met you, that you're gonna have to write my bio.
Certainly.
Well, our bio actually,
Certainly.
because we have a story that we
Stories.
have to share as well. So, what would be the first thing we need to do to contract your service? And this is for persons who want to contact you. What's the first thing we should do?
So the first thing I would ask or suggest is for you to visit my website, thebiowriter.com.
Okay.
So right on my website, you could see samples, you can see price points, and there's also a link for you to schedule time with me for what I call a virtual coffee or consultation.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be in person, obviously, since we're all in the same city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be, even at your place
Yeah.
or at a coffee shop or wherever. But that's the first place I would suggest to take you is my website, so you can see samples of what I do and make sure it's a good fit for you and your message.
But for someone who's not in the city, they have to go to the website, follow the links, book a session, virtual coffee. I don't know, go and go do it. Go and check out the website, thebiowriter.com. And, you may never know. Writing a bio is not as easy as it sounds. And getting professional help, I think that can be beneficial to a lot of persons who want to share their story. Probably you're writing a book. Probably you are planning to start a business. Probably you're going on an interview. Probably you're just creating a portfolio. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're probably even a student. Get it done. That's what I would say. Agree, Nats?
I do agree.
Yeah? You want your bio?
Yes, I definitely want.
Joint bio or individual
I
bio?
want my individual. So
No,
you
it's
want
gonna be joint. We're
But I want my
joint.
individual. I think I have a story different from you. We grew up. We're not always like this. we
Well-
grow different life. We had different life before we met each other. So
I cannot
want to-
remember.
I can't remember.
I want to tell that aspect of my life before meeting you.
What would you change, Christina? What would you change about Grande Prairie that can, for example, you have your business? Let me put it in a different way. What would you change about Grande Prairie that can benefit your business?
What would I change about Grande Prairie that would benefit my business? That's such an interesting question. I hadn't thought about that. I'm kind of drawing a bit of a blank. What I would change about Grande Prairie is, you spoke about this in a previous episode, actually. I would change the amount of engagement at events.
Oh, yes.
I would like to see more people out and about at events and engaging. And I run in some, and this is maybe something that I need to work on, is I go to kind of the same events and I see the same people,
Yes.
which is great. I mean, they're
You
great
just want
people.
some new
But
faces.
I remember clearly we spoke about it. It's not even the fact that it's the same faces. It's the fact that everyone, there's nothing new. And everyone, they're there, but it's cliquey. I find that if you go to an event and you are your first event, it's very hard for you to integrate because everyone else who's there, they know everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is a part of, they're like, oh man, it's Christina. How's it going, Christina? You stand there, you talk the entire night. And then somebody who no one knows is there just waiting for someone to come and say hi. So I think that's something that I would change as well. But do you think there's any? Do you think that's gonna be changing anytime soon?
I think it's up to the people who go to the events to make a point to say hello to someone new. And it's not always easy to do that, whether you're in Grande Prairie, whether you're in Edmonton, whether
Yeah.
you're in Vancouver. It's not always easy to put yourself out there and introduce yourself to someone new. Even, us at the chamber event.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
I was trying not to call their name, but okay. Big up the chamber. Yeah.
No, we, even just coming up to you both and saying hello. And,
Yeah.
and we didn't actually get to connect until the end of the night at
Exactly.
the chamber event because I was kind of
Going through the room, trying
I
to
was
connect
going
it.
through the room and connecting with people that I already knew.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very glad we had the chance to connect. And this is something that I can do on my own end is put myself out there a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm naturally a friendly person, but I can be quite introverted.
Okay.
And I feel quite a few people in Grande Prairie maybe have that same mentality, that introvert. They don't necessarily feel comfortable putting themselves out there. But how do we grow as people? We meet new people.
That's it.
We connect with new faces, and we open ourselves to opportunities that wouldn't have been possible otherwise.
And I'm gonna ask you a fun question now.
A fun question.
A fun question.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to know what it is? What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? That's a bizarre question. What do I do for fun? Like I said, I'm a bit of an introvert, so I like to read. I like to go for walks. I used to paint. I loved to paint, and I haven't done it in quite a few years, so I might pick that up again here.
Do you go to monthly dinners with your schoolmates as well?
Actually, no.
Oh, Joanne, I hope you're watching this. Not everyone does it.
Not everyone does it, no. But what I do is I try to connect with my schoolmates on things like FaceTime.
1 point deducted. I thought she was gonna say no. I connect with new people, but she connects with her. And the reason why I'm asking about it is we say that in Grande Prairie, it's hard to break into the social space because like persons who are born and grew up here, like they are friends with the same persons like throughout life.
Yeah.
Right.
They went to school with these persons, so they lived on the same block. They go to dinners, they hang out most of the
Social
times.
events, the same. Yes.
So for persons like us who moved to Grande Prairie, it's hard to break into that social space. But then when you said no, I thought like, yeah. But then you said, no, I connect with them still. Oh,
I'm sorry to disappoint
a
you.
dagger.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. But I will say this. Things like Black History Month,
Yeah.
this is very new for Grande Prairie.
Yeah.
And having people like you and Mariah and other champions in the community to bring awareness to the cause, that's what's needed. So thank you both, and thank you to Mariah and everyone involved with that initiative to bring it to everyone's attention and create those opportunities to learn more about Black History Month and to learn about, something that's maybe unfamiliar to us.
Yes. So from your new experience as it relates to Black History Month, have you learned anything about Black culture, like Black food, anything like that you can say that I like that?
I have not yet, but I'm looking forward to the mixer, and I'm the kind of person who learns by connecting with other people. I learn by reading, of course, but I learn best by asking.
Nats, we're gonna have to cook her some spicy Jamaican food. Do you think she can take it?
Not the spicy.
Do you think she can take it?
No, no,
Or can we get her some rum?
no.
I'm not a drinker,
Oh,
but
yeah.
She's not a drinker. Okay,
drinker.
so we have to get her some jerk chicken then.
Yes.
I
Not
would
spicy.
I would love some jerk chicken.
Yeah.
Go easy on me.
Yes.
I can handle a little bit of spice.
I do.
I like spice, but spice doesn't necessarily
Gotcha.
like me.
Yeah.
You understand?
I understand. Spice, for me, it's a hit or miss.
It's hit or miss.
And yeah, but definitely, 100%. We want to thank you, Christina, for even sitting down with us, agreeing to talk to us. Even though you're thanking us, we're thanking you. Want to say thank you for doing what you're doing. I think it's very impactful, It's something that we see benefit in terms of your services. I think it's something that can benefit a lot of persons, whether personally or professionally. I think it's something that is worth spreading, worth persons knowing about, right? So keep doing what you're doing. And we're gonna get you that jerk chicken, and you better not complain, right? You're
I
gonna
will
eat
never
every
complain.
single ounce of spice that's on it.
I will never, if someone cooks me, food is my love language, okay, guys? So if someone makes me food, no complaints. No complaints.
Uh, Food is our love language. We must be my long lost cousin, because food is my love language as well. Absolutely. But is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you want to share? Either about your business, about yourself, about the community, that for persons who are watching this right now, they think it's important for them to know?
The one thing that I do say to people and on my social media posts that I really want to emphasize, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but there is only one you. In the history of humanity, there's only one you, right? And not sharing that is almost a shame. It's a when you share who you are, when you have the courage to share who you are, the entirety of who you are, that's when you inspire others to come up to you and really share who they are. And I feel like sometimes in Grande Prairie, going back to what we talked about, people are hesitant to share who they are.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, people can have a number of reasons. But in the infinity of time and space, there is only one you, and there will only be one you. Even if you have children, those children are a combination of you and that other person, and of course their own personality.
Their own
traits.
personality.
Yeah, that's
We know
right.
all about that. We're going through the terrible two stage, and it is indeed the terrible two stage. So yeah,
We know.
we understand. She's just developing her personality, so she's acting out a lot. You're
Okay.
right, yeah.
Okay.
But 100%, there's only one you.
There's only one you, so have the courage to share who that person is in your day-to-day life and in your bio.
How do we tap that? No?
Oh.
There's only one you?
Only one you.
Absolutely. Guys, smash a like on the podcast if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the bio writer. Drop a comment and all those lovely things. We're episode 7. We have 3 more episodes to go in this season 1 of YourViews Podcast. And we're going to be chatting a little bit. I know it sounds like we were wrapping up a little bit, but we are going to be going for another couple more minutes here, Christina. Now, let's shift the narrative a little bit, right? So, Grande Prairie, you would have seen a lot of changes happened in Grande Prairie over your lifetime,
Most definitely.
right? What would you say is the biggest change that you've noticed?
The biggest change I've seen in Grande Prairie is how it has welcomed people of different cultures, right? When I was growing up in Sexsmith, it was predominantly Caucasian, right?
Yeah.
The population was predominantly Caucasian. Now there's people from different races, different cultures, and I think that's a great thing because I feel like there's so much we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
And it's reciprocal, right? I can learn from you, you can learn from me. There's a place and a space for all of us. That's probably the biggest change. And of course, people always talk about how Grande Prairie has grown as a city. It used to be, believe it or not, it used to be quite a bit smaller than it is now.
Yeah.
And there's advancements in education. We have a new hospital now. We have, a new, it's not that new, but we have the multiplex, right?
Yeah.
We have facilities and schools and all the things for this influx of people that we've received. And there's still more to come.
Yeah.
So how it's grown in population and how it's grown in services. And, we never used to, Costco's a bit old, but when I was a kid, we never had a Costco.
Yeah.
Until, I was probably about, I want to say 10.
Okay.
So, just the advancements.
So you would have seen no Costco, no Walmart, none of those things.
Not until probably a little bit later in my childhood.
Gotcha.
Or maybe I just don't remember them being there, but it's grown so much. Grande Prairie's
So,
grown so
which
much.
area do you think need more development in Grande Prairie?
More development. From what I hear, more development for people with, like people who are the vulnerable population, right?
Yeah, the homeless population?
Yes, the homeless
We can say
population.
homeless, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you. Just trying to figure out a gentle way to phrase that. But people who are vulnerable, they need supports, they need places to live, as well as parents need places for childcare.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, I don't have children, but from what I've heard and witnessed, there's a lot of opportunity for people to come in and build day homes for children, or again, schools. The schools are filling up faster than
Yeah.
they're being built.
Yeah. And you know what? It's interesting you mentioned childcare, and that's something that Nats and I were talking about the other day, because I think as a city, childcare itself, I don't think it's a massive problem, because we haven't had like significant issues finding childcare for our kids. But what we have issue with is we have a special needs child.
Okay.
Right? Our oldest child, she's non-verbal autistic, and she is globally delayed. So most of her daily functions, we speak about this a lot on our channel. She needs support, right? So she gets support from school, at home, but the thing is, there's no daycare or day home that kids with special needs at 6 years old, that there's not enough access to that. And I think that's something that the probably city should be looking at now. Like, there are so many kids in Grande Prairie that have special needs, and for the parent, is either one parent has to be staying home,
Yeah.
or paying for private childcare, which is really expensive. So I think that's definite. So if you're watching this, by the way, and you're from the city, no judgment. We know everything takes a little bit of time, but that's something that can probably make it on the agenda. So just to make sure that it's truly inclusive and everyone is being catered for.
And contacting your local city councillor and the mayor, and making it known that this is something that's important to you, because we can talk about it all we want on the podcast, but until elected officials know that this is something that's needed, not a lot happens.
Are they truly accessible though?
I believe so. I mean, define accessible.
Because I don't know what the first channel, well, probably I can Google it, but I don't know what the first step would be if I need to contact the mayor. I probably have to go through like a lot of bureaucracy to get to that person, maybe, I'm imagining.
I would start with a city councillor before I would go directly to the mayor.
Okay.
Or, you can always go to a city council meeting. They have city council meetings. When I was reporting, they were open to the public. I'm hoping or assuming they still are.
Okay.
But yeah, there's ways for sure. And if you don't know who your city councilors are, hop on the City of Grande Prairie website. Everybody has a smartphone nowadays.
Yes.
You can type in City of Grande Prairie and find out who the councilors are, and not just the councilors, but the different departments the city has in place. You can connect with them as well. There's ways for sure.
Okay. Now we're gonna wrap up, but I'm gonna ask you two things, right? The first thing is, what do you know about Jamaica?
What do I know about Jamaica? I know that you're famous for jerk chicken, and I think I tried it once, but I'm not sure I remember what it tasted like.
Okay.
And you have beautiful, beautiful beaches, and from what I've experienced of Jamaican culture, very warm and welcoming humans, very warm and welcoming people, and sunny skies. It's a popular vacation destination for a lot of people here, and just a vibrant, colorful culture.
Sweet. Think she got it right, spot on.
Is that right? Did I get it right? I don't know a lot.
No, that's enough. That's like 90%, yeah.
Okay.
Which is pretty high. And the final thing is there anybody who you'd like to shout out? Like, they're going to be seeing this podcast. Would you like to send a shout out to anyone who's watching this podcast right now?
I I'd just like to thank Mariah Braun again for the opportunity to record in M3M Studios with her business, M3M Marketing. And anyone who's watching who enjoyed this, please let us know. Leave a comment, because that's how we grow and that's how we connect with you. So leave us a comment if you like this episode.
I thought she was going to say big up my mom, big up my dad, big up my cousins over there in Sexsmith, big up the entire town of Sexsmith. But she's keeping it modest. Anyways, I'll big up everybody. Big up everybody watching this right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in all the way to this to the end of this episode. Really appreciate all of you guys. As Christina said, take a second, hit that subscribe button, smash a like on this podcast, and drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about this episode, but most importantly, let us know where you are watching from. That's always very important to us. It's so amazing how you can just sit in a room, do a video, and it goes around the entire world. Fascinates me every time. Drop those comments. Let me know where you're watching from. And Mariah, there's no words. Appreciate you. All the persons who are a part of our journey, all the persons who know Christina. Big up on yourself. Until next time, guys. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.